don't think he was trying a shot there, was he?
No, he's trying to whip it in with some pace. It was a beautiful first touch to get around Jake Brimmer. Just a heavy cross there that just doesn't go to anyone. But for Melbourne Victory, it's about starting this first half confident and stay in the fight. You need to stay in the fight, because if you go down a goal, it makes it 2-0. The mountain just seems to get bigger and bigger that you have to climb. So it's about just staying in the fight, taking your opportunity, keep hold of the ball, and honour those runs that are going forward. I know that maybe even Grant Brevner would have said to Jacob Butterfield, look, get that opportunity, play the ball in behind, use the speed and pace of Robbie Kruse and Callum McManaman.
Here he is, McManaman loses possession on that occasion. Double-teamed by King and Barbarouses. Barbarouses loses it. And Victory force it out for a throw into Sydney FC. They've dominated this fixture in recent times. 12 wins in the past 16 games, including a win in each of the last 5 for Sydney FC over Melbourne Victory. It was Bratton who plays stinging ball in. Dylan Ryan clears it. And Kruse surrounded by Sky Blue. Forced back. This ball by Wilkinson to Bobo. Ryan Grant. Barbarouses and Retro. This is Caceres. Finds some room. Lovely ball in. This is Costa Barbarouses, and he does it. Costa makes it 2 for Sydney FC in front of the fans that loved him so much for so many years. Sydney FC on top at Amy Park.
Yeah, probably not the right place to celebrate your goal, especially if you're Costa Barbarouses. But it was still a wonderful finish. And Anthony Caceres drifts in off the sideline. You can see right here, sizes up his defender. Bit of combination play. Here he just comes inside. And CJ Barnett just wanders off to the ball watching, which allows that space for Costa Barbarouses. And that's a wonderful finish, slow and hard to the bottom corner. You can see Anthony Caceres comes inside, gets around Jake Brimmer too easily. They just get ball watching, and then Costa Barbarouses. You don't give him that much space. I know that he's created a lot of opportunities, missed a lot of opportunities, but he's not going to miss that one. And you can see him signalling to his second child. And tell you what, the Melbourne Victory fans didn't like that. But it was beautiful football by Sydney FC.
His 5th goal against Melbourne Victory since leaving the club. The goal being checked and the goal being given the all clear. Well, they loved him in the terraces here at Amy Park for so long, Costa Barbarouses. They didn't love that. 127 games with Melbourne Victory, 41 goals in the navy blue. He won 2 championships here over his 5 seasons, and tonight he sticks another dagger into the hearts of Victory fans.
Again, it was a beautiful ball from Anthony Caceres. He just drifts inside, almost cuts it back. And Jay Barnett just leaves Costa going towards the ball and leaves him free, and he just punishes him.
King. Offside flag goes up. Just on the defending there for that goal, taking nothing away from this wonderful play. And Caceres involved again, and Barbarouses. Where was his marker? He had metres and metres of space, Archie, inside that 18-yard area.
Well, for me, Anthony Caceres is too easy coming inside. You've got to at least make a challenge, put him off balance. Jake Brimmer just gets it caught a little flat-footed. And then when 2 players are caught to the ball watching, just leaves someone free in the box, and you just can't afford to do that. And we talked about staying in the fight.
And ball's still alive. Victory continue. King got it back for Retro. Now McGowan and Bratton. And too heavy on the pass for Luke Bratton. Well, there was a lot of talk about Sydney FC and their failure to find the back of the net this season. Coming into this game, 16 goals, the equal third fewest in the league. They've already got a couple tonight. And the way this is going, they could have a couple more.
Yeah, you're just looking at the Melbourne Victory players. They just seem a little deflated at the moment. So hard when you come off the break, thinking, okay, how can we impact this game? And then sloppy defending, which we've seen a lot of in Melbourne Victory.
That one will be easily swept up by Matt Acton. Just his fourth start of the campaign after Max Crocombe was the preferred goalkeeper at the start of the season.
And there was nothing he could do there. Costa Barbarouses had all the time in the world to be able to pick out his spot. Just hit it low and hard across the goalkeeper. 9 times out of 10 they go in.
Things Steve Corica will think about if this game continues on its trajectory as the busy schedule he has ahead. We'll talk about that in a moment as Joel King takes possession. Rattray whips the ball in, well read by Dylan Ryan, only as far as Luke Bratton, and now Ryan Grant. Oh, what a pass by Luke Bratton, and Milos Ninkovic read it beautifully. And the Sydney FC midfielder gives him a round of applause, and it deserved it. That piercing pass, which cut through the Melbourne Victory defence.
Well, that was a beautiful pass and an even better run. You just felt like if they were a bit more central to the goal, that little dink would have gone into the bottom corner. But yeah, you just can't allow that amount of space and time on the ball to be able to pick that pass out. What Sydney FC are doing this half is they're spreading the ball from one side to the next, which is allowing that space. And you almost felt that Luke Bratton was looking to maybe even ping that ball across. But it was a beautiful run. An even better ball too.
Here's Caceres. Sydney FC continue to press here. Grant. Pass deflected, out for a corner kick. Ryan Grant asking whether there was a handball there. Here is what awaits Sydney FC over the next few weeks. They have Perth in a couple of days on the 7th of April, then Melbourne City on the 10th. So 3 games within a week for Steve Corica. And then they face teams above them on the table. Central Coast Mariners and Adelaide before they play Victory again. Here's another chance for Sydney. It falls loose for Milos Ninkovic. It hits the post, still in play. Another chance now for Ryan Grant with the header over the top, cleared off the line, was it? Melbourne Victory scramble and somehow managed to keep the ball out. This is Bratton to the far post. Bobo rises and somehow Melbourne Victory survive that raid on their goal. Incredible stuff.
Just got really frantic in there. I think the ball fell to Costa Barbarouses. It might have been Nick Ansell just got a foot to it. But they don't give up on it. Bobo with a ball into the back post. Nick Ansell with a wonderful clearance up the line. I tell you what, everyone was just teeing off here. Luke Bratton again with a ball into the back post. That's a great save. I tell you what, that was real frantic. I think that was a really great last challenge there from Nick Ansell that almost pushed that ball onto the post. I don't know if Costa Barbarouses had much to do with it, but I tell you what, it's just teeing off at the moment.
I think I've got the boots confused. Milos Ninkovic and Costa Barbarouses wearing those same coloured bright boots.
If it's not one, it's the other.
He's been brilliant and he deserves his break. Milos Ninkovic perhaps with a view to what's coming up in the next week for Sydney FC. He is substituted Milos Ninkovic. Alexander Yomhan also coming onto the park. Paulo Rattray off, Bobo off, and they ring the changes. Sydney FC, Luke Ivanovic also makes his way onto the park.
And this is a great opportunity for Luka Ivanovic. Like I was talking in the pre-game, we're seeing the opportunities he created against Perth and didn't take it. And that's probably one thing that's been missing from his game, because he has that quality speed. He's great on the ball, but just that finishing product. It's a great opportunity now that they're a man down. A lot of momentum for him to get on the score sheet and build that confidence.
Handy player to be able to bring back on as well, Johan for Sydney FC. Been mainly used as a substitute this season. Here's one of the substitutes making his way to the byline. Roux grabbed a bit of his shirt there. Luka Ivanovic just asking the referee why wasn't a free kick there.
And that's a threat that he possesses, is that speed and directness. Smart runs in behind, and you can just see that Sydney FC try this every time. Must be on the training paddock, just balls in behind, making a lot of runs.
Here's Robbie Kruse. There's nothing ahead of him from Robbie Kruse. And that must be a sight that really deflates you as a player. He got up, had the ball at his feet, looked up. There were 5 sky blue shirts in front of him. Now they counter on the other side. Barbarouses plays a lovely ball in for Bong Johan. The substitute tried to return the favour to Barbarouses. They look menacing going forward, don't they? This is Grant. For King and Bratton. Ryan Grant makes the run. Bratton decides to go short. And Caceres. Bratton whips it in. Dylan Ryan with the clearance for victory. Now Ivanovic. King plays it in over the head of Barbarouses.
What's impressive is Robbie Kruse, okay, he's breaking forward, but it's the amount of numbers that are trying to get back in and defend that. Not really allowing any time, but I'll tell you what, he's not going to sleep tonight. He's going to just be seeing light blue running at him, because at the moment they just seem to be moving the ball so quickly, one side to the next, making forward runs.
Here's Ivanovic in some space. Can he keep it in? He does manage to cut it back, and the shot on goal was on target from Caceres. It needed the save from Acton at his near post, and the Melbourne Victory keeper concedes. Corner kick to Sydney.
Yeah, it just looks a little bit too easy for Sydney FC at the moment. You could see Nick Ansell just in the back there was frustrated right here at his defence. Just the amount of space that the players are allowed, but it's that quick ball movement that's allowing that.
Corner kick for Sydney. Oh, not a bad header, and a terrific save. A terrific save from the Melbourne Victory keeper to deny Sydney FC their third. Matt Acton at full stretch. Corner kick Sydney. They come again. The pressure is relentless. Val Johan switches it beautifully. Now Bratton will send it in again. Wilkinson. Bratton with the shot from outside. And Acton watches it out for a goal kick.
It was a beautiful header. Bomihan, and what a wonderful save that is from Matty Acton. Not easy when you're going one way and the stretch out with the left and tip it across the bar. But what I was saying is that ball movement, switching from one side to the next. And it almost feels like when there's enough space to make that forward run, they pick out a player. I'll tell you what, that was a beautiful save from Matty Acton.
Here's Jake Brimmer for Melbourne Victory. McGowan stands in his way illegally, and he'll go into the book. A yellow card for Sydney FC. No arguments there, Art.
Nah, look, he's stuck his foot out. Jake Brimmer got around him. You could see Callum McManaman, if he had maybe gone more directly to goal instead of peeling out wide, Jake Brimmer could have maybe passed the ball onto his feet.
Just his second yellow card of the season for Ryan McGowan. Here's a rare opportunity for Melbourne Victory to trouble Andrew Redmayne. Brimmer with a deep delivery. Kruse manages to keep it in. Elford makes the run. It's ignored. Here's Barnett. Johan with the chest away. Sydney FC with numbers on the break. Johan rides the challenge beautifully. Caceres makes the run. Barnett tracks back. Does well, the Melbourne Victory midfielder. Now Johan. Grant with the run. Can he keep it in? Just out of play, I reckon. And the flag does go up. But Sydney are relentless at the moment. They're not sitting on this 2-goal advantage, Archie.
Yeah, when they break with some speed. There's Shotton. Obviously couldn't make it for this game. Played about 20 minutes, 30 minutes against Central Coast Mariners last week, trying to ease him back in. And unfortunately, the injury that he sustained didn't allow him to suit up for this game. But I tell you what, the way that they broke forward, that relentless, we talk about forward running, it's just so hard to be able to do anything.
Minus 20 goal difference for Melbourne Victory. It tells the story of their season so far. This result pushes Sydney closer to the top teams. They're coming, the champions. Here's King. Now Ivanovic. Johan has been busy since coming on. Bratton. Ryan Grant. Now Ryan McGowan. And Alex Wilkinson. One of the best defences in the A-League. Not troubled too much tonight. King with the cross, and Matty Acton will see that over for a goal kick to the home side.
Really hard for Melbourne Victory to get any kind of possession on the ball. The way that Sydney FC are just stroking it around left to right. Creating that opportunity and space when they do go forward. You can see Bomihan tried to play a little ball in behind to Costa Barbarouses, but Joel King took it off his feet. You almost felt if he let that go, Costa Barbarouses was in, but really difficult for Melbourne Victory at the moment.
Victory have conceded 3+ goals in their past 3 home games, Archie, a total of 13. Only the Mariners last season, between rounds 17 and 24, conceded 3+ goals in 4 consecutive home games. It highlights the annus horribilis that Melbourne Victory is experiencing.
Might have to get the thesaurus out on that one, Zappers, when you throw big words like that at me.
I think it's a Latin for a terrible year. Robbie Kruse makes way for Ben Falami. Well, he's despondent, Robbie Kruse, isn't he? He's not happy at all.
Yeah, he just wasn't allowed to have any kind of space. It probably was something that was talked about, because you see when he did get the ball, there was 3 or 4 Sydney players around him trying to steal that ball off him.
Here's Sydney FC. Can they inflict further pain? Almost here. Offside flag does go up. Just want to touch on something. Robbie Kruse just came off there, Archie. He's got the captain's armband on. Gets to the bench and takes it off. We talk about lack of leadership at the club. When the captain comes off the ground, shouldn't someone else be taking that captain's armband? Where's the leadership on the park at the moment?
Yeah, well, that's normally what happens when you come off. It doesn't matter what the result or how despondent you are. You've still got to just hand that captain's armband to anyone. But that just shows the frustration, the disappointment, knowing that this was such a big game. I know there's a lot of football to be still had, but the way that Sydney are defending, the way they're attacking, it looks almost out of reach. But it is, when we talk about that leadership, it's just not apparent out there at the moment, you know. And Robbie's that type of player that's, leads from example. And when he was shut off, there was nothing else really. There was no other talk.
Leadership might not come naturally to the 11 that are out there at the moment, but it sends the wrong signal. So if you're a Callum McManaman who played for decades overseas at the highest of levels, or you're an Adama Traore, someone needs to take that responsibility.
Yeah, it's a hard one to kind of almost get into someone's mind at that moment. I know I've been in situations, they've even worn the captain armband, and you know, when things aren't going well, it's sometimes you just forget because you're just that disappointed. And at the moment he would be, because we talk about stats and we talk about, you know, the impact of what he's having for Melbourne Victory, and probably the stats aren't showing it, and we see how despondent he is, and you know, but that doesn't take anything away. You still need to give an armband to someone.
I'm not so much pointing the finger at Robbie Kruse either. It's, you know, the other players that are out there right now.
But we've seen it too with Lee Broxham. I mean, I can't remember who had the armband, but he didn't want it. So, you know, for me as a player, I didn't care what sort of experience I had or stature in the club. If someone's giving me the armband, I'm going to take it. You know, it's a proud club, and to almost say like, okay, I'm going to wear the armband for Melbourne Victory, that used to be something that was really highly looked upon as something really great. And at the moment, it feels like no one wants it out there.
Well, that picture tells 1,000 stories. Play continues. Sydney FC rampaging down the other end. This should be 3 for Sydney. Caceres puts it on a platter, and it just evades somehow. The substitute, Ivanovic, so close to a third for Sydney.
Well, again, it's that execution, a beautiful ball in behind. They almost know that that play is going to be there. Just probably needed to take a little bit of the pace off it, just guide it into Ivanovic's foot because he was free. Just a slight little touch which went out for a corner, but dangerous signs for Melbourne Victory.
Now still plenty of time here for Sydney FC to add to their tally tonight. Al Njohan with a terrific delivery. Wilkinson with the header over the crossbar.
Steve Crocker talked about his team playing really well and just not being able to score their goals. And on tonight's evidence, you can see that the way that they're playing, their patterns, their forward runs, they just seem to know who's going where. You know, they've got Lee Broxham there. He's probably disappointed he can't be out there because he knows the importance of leadership, especially with Melbourne Victory, because he's been part of so many championship teams. He knows what it takes to be a success. It must be deflating for him just to watch what's going on here and not being able to be a part of it. But again, that's not taking nothing away from the way that Sydney FC have played.
This is what's happened since the red card. All the possession for Sydney FC as Nick Ansell loses his footing on the slippery surface. It is the technical area. McManaman finds Ben Falami. Can they find something here, Victory? Falami's cross cut out by Alex Wilkinson. It's a corner kick for the home side. Something for the home fans to cheer about.
Yeah, we haven't seen the ball too far up Melbourne Victory's end.
I'm not sure Andrew Redmayne's touched it this half.
No, he's thinking about the next game. But look, it's still 2-0, like anything's possible. You get a goal back. It certainly can change the complexion of the game. But it's that forward run, it's making that forward run and playing that forward ball in.
So here's Jake Brimmer with the corner for Victory. Dylan Ryan tried to get there desperately, couldn't make enough contact. This is Jacob Butterfield. Can he find a way around? He can't, but he does win another corner kick for the home side. Short one this time. To Brimmer, back to Butterfield. Now Traore. Whips it in. Nick Ansell is there. He got up in between the two big Sydney defenders He made terrific contact, but it was straight at the Sydney FC goalkeeper, Andrew Redmayne.
You can see the shake of the head by Alex Wilkinson. He wasn't happy that the way Nick Ansell was able to guide in between the two defenders. A beautiful ball from Jake Brimmer. Just had to angle it onto the goal. A metre either side, and Melbourne Victory are back in this game.
McManaman inside now for Butterfield. Traore. Now Falami. Butterfield looking for some space. Falami. To the byline. Puts the ball in. Appeals for handball from the home crowd. Play continues. It'll be looked at. Then Falami reckons there's something there. Daniel Alder is getting a message in his ear. VAR looking at it as we speak. Substitute in the meantime for Sydney FC. Joel King is the player to make way. And Ben Warland replaces him.
It was a great play from Melbourne Victory. Starting to move the ball a little bit quicker, especially in that front third. You can see with the free kicks or the corner kick, they take it nice and early, knowing that they don't have much height. I think probably Nick Ansell's probably the only sort of presence in that box that can put something on the head, and we've seen when he did glide in between the two defenders.
Here's Ivanovic. Victory players say it was out. Play continues. Ivanovic cuts it across. Barbarouses swings a foot at it. Another chance goes begging for Sydney FC. Johan just wide of the mark.
Beautiful run by Ivanovic on the sideline there. Looked like the ball did drift out a little bit, but he still used his pace and got around. I think it was Nick Ansell there. Delivered a hard ball across, which you want in those sort of situations. The deflection goes into the goal. Costa Barbarouses just couldn't connect.
Another corner for Sydney. Falls loose in the shot. Callum McManaman, we've seen him score from that range so far this season. The substitute come on and scored a few this season.
Beautiful footwork here. Looks like it might have just dripped out, I'm not sure, but again, great feat to be able to take on Nick Ansell there. Costa Barbarouses, the ball just comes down. We saw actually James McLaren in the same sort of situation, blasted at the top of the net. Just didn't seem to get his technique right. Always so difficult when the ball's falling from a height. A great run from Luka Ivanovic there.
Yeah, the key there, the whole of the ball has to be over the line. And there wasn't much in it. Advantage going to the attacking side. I don't mind that. Warland's pass just too wide for Costa Barbarouses. Almost double the amount of forward pass attempts for Sydney FC. Here's another one. Ivanovic to Johan, the two substitutes. Traore there for Victory. Butterfield uses his body well. Now Barnett. Storm Roux, better from the Melbourne Victory in the last few minutes. McManaman takes it on himself. Callum McManaman, not a lot ahead of him, so he thought, I'll take matters into my own hands here. He has 3 to his name so far this season, couldn't quite get close enough for the 4th.
Well, we've seen him from that range score goals before. It was against Brisbane here. First round of the season when he came in on his left and had a beautiful strike. He's more than capable of it, but I would like to see him probably a little bit higher. He seems to drift out to the halfway line to receive that ball. I think he can do his work and be more dangerous a little bit further on, where he doesn't have to work so hard to get it into a goal-scoring position. But you do see his quality and link-up play with Jake Brimmer.
Butterfield wins the free kick and the advantage paid. Falami. Plenty to beat. Ben Falami The numbers win out in the end. Wilkinson with the block for Sydney. Another chance here through Jay Barnett, starting in his second consecutive game for Victory in the midfield tonight. Storm Roux. And Callum McManaman. Switch play now to Adama Traore. Can they find something? Remember, if you've just joined us, Melbourne Victory down to 10 men. Elvis Kamsova picked up 2 yellow cards in the first 31 minutes of the game. And now Sydney with a chance to make it 3. Nieuwenhof. And Ivanovic he has ahead of him. Callum Nieuwenhof might take it on himself. He does. And Matty Acton had to stick out the left peg to deny Sydney FC again.
Matty Acton, what a beautiful save that was. Costa Barbarouses playing in Nieuwenhof. Not used to seeing him in this position one-on-one, but he does enough to get a space and strike it low and hard across the goal. That's what you want. But Matty Acton makes himself big in that situation.
Here's Nieuwenhof again. Whips it in. Barnett with the clearance, another corner kick. The corner count starting to mount up for Sydney FC. It's 9 now. There's Nieuwenhof. Caceres. Bratton might fancy himself from here. A terrific pass in the end. He decides Warland. And Warland wins another corner. You just thought he was going to take a shot there, didn't you,
We can see what Luke Bratton's
smart ball.
Yeah, because we've seen him in those sort of situations, what he can do and generate that power. But it's almost like Victory players turn their heads and he just cut it
Here
back.
is Luke Bratton who'll unwind from the volley. He collects Callum McManaman on the way. Daniel Elder sees a foul beyond that. Dick Ansell it is who's down. I think he copped that one right in the midriff, Nick Ansell. He did well to close down that shot. It was a well-worked corner, and there it is. Flush on the volley from Luke Bratton.
Well, I'll tell you what, if that had been about 10 centimetres lower, those Easter eggs would have been going to the hospital. But I'll tell you what, it was a beautiful ball played to Luke Bratton. And he's just got such great technique that you felt like if Nick Ansell hadn't put his body in line that, you know, that was going to go on target. But it was a beautiful ball from Luke Bratton, played in the wall, and just felt like if he could get that ball at his feet, he was clean on goal.
So the VAR is just checking on this decision here. We're told it was for a hold on a Sydney FC player. And Daniel Elder, the referee, has been involved in a fair bit of controversy tonight. Is there more to come here? John Paul de Marigny sent off. Well, down the race. I'm not sure he's been sent off, but he wasn't happy. Now, here is what they're looking at. Was there a hold here? And should that be a penalty to Sydney FC? A foul inside the area. Daniel Elder is receiving plenty of advice from the Melbourne Victory supporters too, by the way, Archie.
Well, look, I don't know. I mean, you're pulling someone's shirt like that, especially in the 18-yard box.
Yeah, it's a penalty.
I guess it doesn't matter where the ball is. If you're holding someone like that and he's going to maybe collect that ball, which I think it was, because it was almost in his path.
Well, he did pay the foul, but he paid it for outside the area. The decision overturned because the foul had occurred inside the 18-yard box.
Well, that's a penalty.
So Melbourne Victory players would have no argument there. No further sanction, it appears, for the foul. And Alexander Balnyohan with the opportunity to make it 3 for Sydney FC. From the penalty spot, the substitute. Yet to score this season for Sydney. Matt Acton has pulled off a couple of heroic saves in this second half. Can he do it again here? Johan for Sydney FC. Makes it 3. And Sydney FC will take all 3 points in the derby. The Big Blue. 54 times they've met. And Sydney FC continue their domination of their bitter rivals from down south.
Well, here was that contentious free kick, but look, if you're pulling someone in the 18-yard box, and the ball was going towards him, so he was in a foot race, but it was dispatched with some venom. And Matty Acton picked the right way, but there's no way he's stopping that. Low and hard in the bottom corner. And that's 3-0 to Sydney FC. And that's another record, 6 consecutive wins against Melbourne Victory.
Well, it just goes from bad to worse for Melbourne Victory, who were staring down the barrel of their worst season in A-League history. Sydney FC go to their bench for the final time tonight. Patrick Wood preparing to come onto the park. And Costa Barbarouses. Here's what the Melbourne Victory fans think of him.
Costa Barbarouses was outstanding tonight. Just full of running, was dangerous all night. Gets himself a goal, creates one. He was adored once before here at Amy Park by the Melbourne Victory fans.
And that third from Alex Valnjohan seals the fate of the Melbourne Victory. Another loss. Just 2 wins so far this year, or this season, for Grant Brebner's side.
Look, I think it was conceding so early in that second half, which certainly deflated the players, because you know you come in thinking, okay, second half we're going to turn this around. Bit of slack defending, ball watching. You leave a player free in the middle, in the box, and he punishes you. And then, you know, it's always so difficult, especially against a very good Sydney FC team that just seem balanced all over the park defensively, from the middle to when they go forward.
Winless in their last 6 games now, Melbourne Victory. Now conceded 34 goals. Equal second most in A-League history after 13 games coming into this one. The records continue to tumble for all the wrong reasons.
And look, when you go a man down with 30 minutes already just played on, it's always going to be an uphill climb against the opposition too that you're playing, Sydney FC. And so disappointing it would be from Grant Brebner's point of view to lose a player so early in the game.
Here's Falami for Traore. Nobody there for Melbourne Victory. Luke Bratton with the final touch. tonight's 3 goals, Archie, continue the average of 3 goals per game, 157 in total leading into the Big Blue, the most goals in any A-League fixture. It's 86 now to Sydney FC, 74 goals to Melbourne.
Well, it's always exciting for the neutral because you know you're going to see goals, but if you're a Melbourne Victory fan or a Sydney fan, you don't want to be on the end of that. But look, it's obviously difficult for Melbourne Victory at the moment.
Here's Ben Falami. Can they get a consolation? Not this time. Ryan McGowan too strong.
That just sums up the attack, I think, of Melbourne Victory tonight. Just a heavy touch from Falami. Easily defended from Ryan McGowan, but look, it's hard to see with really any positives. I think they started really well, Melbourne Victory. Didn't really let Sydney FC get into that flow. They had composed possession when they did have the ball. But again, it's just silly decisions. That yellow card, maybe not a yellow card, but it's a second yellow card that Cam Sober that concerned me.
Here's Balnyohan, scorer of the penalty. Caceres and Warland. Now Bratton. Balnyohan. How about that? The trick's starting to come out for the reigning champions. McGowan does well to win that foot race against Falami. Balnyohan to Warland. Another chance here for Sydney. Acton throws his body in the way. And he needed to. The numbers were mounting in the penalty area.
Yeah, you see when Sydney FC spread the ball nice and quickly out wide, they create so many opportunities.
5 minutes to be added.
Balnyohan with a few tricks. I think there was 2 nutmegs in a row there. The flick around the back, you can afford to do that when you're 3-0 up.
Here they come again. Will there be a 4th? Brimmer with the challenge. Illegal one, said Daniel Elder. The referees have been involved in plenty tonight. 4th official, Jonathan Barrero, questioned by Grant Brebner in our half-time interview. It was Jonathan Barrero, the 4th official, who initially called over the central referee, Daniel Elder, tonight, after he allowed the play to continue. Elvis Kamsoba was then issued the first caution after that intervention of the 4th official. And the second one not long after that. Inside 31 minutes, here's Luke Bratton from long range. He wasn't far away. He knows this place pretty well, Luke Bratton. Played for Melbourne City and scored a few at that end.
A little smile on the face from Luke Bratton. He knows that's close. Beautiful technique. Up and down over that wall. Just got so much quality and technique. It was on show tonight. Just the way he's spraying the ball around, cutting the fence.
Feeding frenzy out there on the park with the Seagulls fighting over a chip, and Sydney FC could continue that feeding frenzy here as the goals continue to mount. 3-0 won't become 4-0 just yet. Corner kick, Sydney.
Probably thinking that Melbourne Victory would like some of these Seagulls to defend for them also.
There's enough of them out there to get in the way. There you go, that tells a story. The corner count for tonight, 11-3 in favour of Sydney. They're in no rush. Here's Bratton. And Caceres. Callum Newell. McGowan plays it forward. The shot is deflected away, falls into the path of Ryan McGowan, and Ryan McGowan makes it 4 for Sydney FC. They're as rare as hen's teeth, those. A Ryan McGowan goal, and he's loving it. The big defender seals the fate of the Victory.
Well, he stayed up from the corner kick. You can see what it means to him. Doesn't usually score many goals. Usually they're coming from set pieces. But he gambled. He decided to stay up. I thought there might have been a hint of offside just here. I think he'll get scratched off here. Just looks like he peeled offside there, Wallen. So maybe all that celebration for nothing. But he did gamble. He did try to play the 1-2 there and get it back, Ryan McGowan. But I don't think this will count.
Hasn't got a goal to his name this season, Ryan McGowan. Oh, he'll hate this if this gets scrapped off. Was it for that secondary passage, Archie? And that action there.
Yeah, it looks like there could have been several offsides on that. And look, there's a victory for a victim to They did get one decision that went their way.
So there it is there. There's that second action.
I thought it might have been Warren, but look, the referee did the right thing there, the linesman, let play continue. I think I saw Adama was a bit frustrated at him, but that's, you know, that's what you want in those sort of situations from your linesman.
So 3 it remains for Sydney FC. Caceres. Look at the space here. Ivanovic gets around a couple, still going. Grant can't retain possession for Sydney. Bratton can though. Gets his body in the way. Ansell throws his body in the way as well. Desperation in the last moments of this one. Johan with a wonderful ball in. Matt Acton reads it well. And he needed to, because the substitute Luke Ivanovic was waiting to get his head on the end of it and make it 4.
You can almost sense that Ivanovic saw Matty Acton just a little bit late and pulled out, because I felt like if he actually kept continuing to challenge that ball, that could have ended up really nasty. But it was, again, beautifully weighted ball in for someone to attack. And you could just see he had his eye on Matty Acton. And great goalkeeping.
Well, there it is, the full-time whistle here at Amy Park in this big blue. A big blue which consigns Melbourne Victory to yet another defeat this season. They are planted on the bottom of the table. Sydney FC returned to the winners list and closed the gap on the leaders in the A-League. Full-time in the 54th Big Blue. Melbourne Victory 0, Sydney FC 3. Well, it was the turning point, Archie, the send-off for Elvis Kamsoba early in this game. And from that point on, there really was only going to be one winner in this contest.
Yeah, it was always going to be difficult, especially when you lose a player so early. But there were signs showing of Sydney FC's quality when they do go forward and the runs they make in behind. So hard to defend against, and again, when you do go behind, you get a goal against you, then you cop a goal straight after half-time. It just makes it so much difficult.
Well, he had a goal and an assist to his name tonight. Costa Barbarouses, congratulations. A terrific performance by you personally and by your side. How much of a relief is that, returning to the winners list tonight?
Yeah, I actually got 2 assists as well, because I helped Archie get Ninko's shirt. So.
Oh, yes, thanks, mate.
No, it feels good. you know, it's a tough one because, you know, Victory are having a hard time of it, and you sort of don't want to be that team where they bounce back from and go on a little run. So we needed to concentrate a lot, and obviously, you know, the red card hurt them as well. But I think we were pretty comfortable before that, and, you know, we had a few bits of quality that counted in the end.
Obviously, you left Melbourne Victory, maybe not on the terms that you would have liked. You come back here, you put a performance on like this, and you see where the club is at the moment. Is it hard to not kind of feel a bit sorry? I know that you're wearing the sky blue, and maybe sky blue supporters will hear and say, don't you dare say that you do. But is there a little element of, you know, disappointment there for you?
Oh, well, I didn't exactly leave. There wasn't a chance to stay, so I don't know if people know that. I think I've addressed that before, but yeah, it's never nice to see, you know, but I don't think about it too much, to be honest. Every team's got their own problems that they have to deal with, and, you know, we're not where we want to be, so you know, that's taking up all my energy at the moment, to be honest.
Would you say that that's the most clinical performance from your front three, because you just look so dangerous every single time you guys made those forward runs? Was that something that was talked about before this game?
Yeah, it was. I think it was a combination of everything. To be honest, it was making more of the forward runs and looking for them from deeper as well. So we keep everyone accountable here, you know, attacking and defending, everyone's accountable. So yeah, it was a good performance today and something to build on for sure, because we've got a busy week coming up.
There's a fair bit of talk about Sydney FC's lack of conversion. It must be nice for you to get one in the back of the net. Does that take a little bit of pressure off you personally?
I don't feel the pressure, to be honest. I'm, you know, very hard on myself, and I don't listen to too much of what's going on outside. I know I've been told, you know, people try to be negative about me, but I don't really care about that, and I just need to think about the team winning, and obviously my goals do help that, so I just need to keep going like this and see what we can do this year.
Well done, mate. Well said and well played.
Great performance.
Thank you, guys. Cheers.
Costa Barbarouses outstanding tonight for Sydney FC. And as a player, Archie, you know that you're a striker. It's your role to score goals in the team. You're an attacking player. And so much pressure, so much talk leading into this game. Great to see him step up.
Yeah, 100%. And I know his quality. And so when people are on, obviously, Costa's back, it's what he does off the ball. And we heard it from Steve Corica. It's a smart runs. He's dragging other people along with him, so it creates opportunities for other players. And he sets it up and he scores. So I don't know why everyone's so worried about it.
One man who wouldn't be a fan of the VAR tonight is Ryan McGowan. He had a goal scrapped off, but he did get to celebrate it just for a moment.
I thought it was offside before he even done it, but this new stupid rule where they wait and wait and wait. But yeah, right decision at the end of it.
And you know, if that goal had stood, what was the celebration there anyway, mate?
It's just the boys gave me a bit of stick because I'm in a rugby league tipping competition. I have no idea what I'm doing, so they said try time. So it's just gone over, but yeah, good result for us.
Well, when it's all said and done, you can go back at home and watch it on Foxtel, because, you know, when calling it live, it's called as a goal, so just save that bit and send it to your mates. But moving on to the performance tonight, terrific. Returning to the winners list, Steve Corica spoke about how strong that defensive unit was. You know, we spoke a lot about the attacking side of the game, but you, as a leader in that defensive unit, must be pretty proud of the way you kept a clean sheet this evening.
Yeah, I think so. I think we should probably have kept a few more throughout the season, but yeah, you know, we're a good, strong defensive unit. We've got a really good back four and players on the bench. Benny Wallen came on for some minutes, who's a quality player and would play for most other A-League clubs. So, you know, we've got a lot of depth in the squad, and I think you touched on it just before I heard, you know, defending from the front. Costa's great at pressing and putting him into tricky areas, so it makes it a lot easier for us boys at the back.
Ryan, one of the turning points of the game was the first yellow card for a foul by Elvis Kamsoba on you. It's a reason you got your head all bandaged up tonight. What did you make of that? Was that a yellow in your view?
I'm not too sure. I think his foot's maybe a little bit high, but I've also gone down. It's one of those things that, yeah, it's probably about the 10th cut I've had to my face, so I'm not too sure if it was a yellow or not, but I think then the second one, when you're already on a yellow, you need to be a little bit more street smart, and yeah, I don't think you can have too many complaints.
Well, there's a fair bruise you got there. Nurse that one, get some ice onto it, and safe travels back home.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Archie.
Thanks, mate.
Two great teammates from the time in the Socceroos, Archie Thompson and Ryan McGowan. I'm sure they've got plenty of great stories to share as well over the years. He was terrific tonight, Ryan McGowan, and well said too about that foul. He didn't perhaps think it was a yellow card, but a good point that you made during the call, Archie, on Elvis Kamsoba's second yellow card, and it really didn't need to make that challenge, and in the end it really cost Melbourne Victory. Storm Roux's been good enough to join us after that loss. So frustrating, I'd imagine, for you, Storm. Was that really the turning point of the game, that red card?
Yeah, I think so. I think we were in it. You know, we're playing some good football, and you get a red card that early on, it's going to kill you. So yeah, we ended up defending for the rest of the game.
I'm not sure if you saw Elvis in the change room at half-time, but was anything said? Because, you know, he got a yellow card. It was, okay, maybe the first one, you know, a bit suspect, but then the second challenge where he leaves his foot in, that must be disappointing from a player's when your teammate makes that decision.
Yeah, we went in half-time, he was devastated. You know, you could tell he knew he made a mistake, but the way I saw it, you know, he was going in for the tackle, and it's just unfortunate. I don't think there was anything reckless in it, so yeah, we'll have a talk about it. It'll be all right.
Storm, one of the things that's been spoken a lot about this year is leadership on the park. We saw Robbie Kruse come off. He was wearing the captain's armband. No one else took the captain's armband when he came off. Am I reading too much into it? Does someone else need to take on that responsibility, perhaps just even as a signal to show leadership on the park?
Yeah, I didn't see that. You know, Robbie's a great leader. I'm sure he didn't mean to do it. It's probably just slipped his mind. Yeah, and he was frustrated. Everyone was frustrated. I think that was the last thing he thought about. But, you know, the expectations at Victory is everyone's a leader. So, you know, we all need to stand up.
Thanks for joining us.
All good, thank you.
All right, Storm Roux joining us there, and another frustrating night for Melbourne Victory. But Sydney FC gets back on the winners list tonight after their loss against Adelaide United last weekend. Comprehensive they were, 6 consecutive wins in the Big Blue. All smiles for Costa Barbarouses. Good to see him mingling with some of the Melbourne Victory fans. Don't go away, plenty more to come on the other side of this break.
At Bet365, the action never stops. Our soccer early payout is now available on multis. Simply place a pre-match bet on the full-time result. If your team leads by 2 goals at any stage, we'll settle your bet as a winner, even if your team fails to win. We're the world's favourite betting company for many reasons. Our early payout is just one of them. Gamble responsibly.
How to make Australia's most famous cocktail. Right, you don't need any of this. Yeah, get rid of it. Just this. Heap of ice, nip of Bundy, and a splash of cola. Lime is optional, like wearing pants at home. Enjoy.
At Macca's, we believe supporting child literacy is bigger than all of us. It's why we've supplied over 28 million children's books in Happy Meals. And for us, this is just the beginning.
Signor Mayor, with this tower, I will make a pizza world famous. And you as well.
You can see towers like this in Rome, in Venice, in Florence.
But this one is round.
I don't know. Perhaps a Red Bull will help you see things from a different angle.
Ah, I got it. What about we build him like this?
Perfetto.
Red Bull gives you wings.
And then we're going to a day spa.
Very nice. And you haven't even asked for any money lately, kiddo.
All good money bags. The CommBank app does all my budgety stuff now. Keeps me on track.
Sounds like an app-vantage.
Yeah, very advantageous.
App-vantage us.
I can't deal.
The app that tracks, budgets and predicts. That's an app-vantage.
Can't get enough of Puff? Domino's Puff Crust is back, and now there's a new way to enjoy it. New Puff Rolls. Try a pepperoni puff roll for $2.95 or a choc lava puff roll for $4.95. Domino's, bring it in.
Ben Cunnington, AFL star, talks about his hair loss.
The best thing about having my hair back is probably my self-confidence.
Call Advanced Hair Studio now.
Just like I did.
Call 1300 Advanced now.
So if you're starting your project, you can always pop into Bunnings. We definitely make DIY easier for anyone from the beginner all the way to the expert.
So you can tackle those projects. The thing you thought might be a little too hard, we can show you how to do it.
Most of the customers that come in here, it is about home improvement and it is a personal journey for a lot of customers, so it's great to be a part of that journey with them. You get a lot of great satisfaction out of seeing them achieve their goals.
Start setting your own goals for your own DIY projects at home.
Sydney FC victorious in the 54th Big Blue here at Amy Park. One of the heroes of Melbourne Victory's season past, Costa Barbarouses, a goal and an assist tonight. Victory now firmly planted on the bottom of the table. Michael Zapponi and Archie Thompson join you on this Easter Sunday evening. Thanks for sticking around. Grant Brebner is the coach of Melbourne Victory. He's been good enough to join us. Brebs, Elvis Campsober's sending off was no doubt the turning point. You said to us at half-time that you questioned the role of the fourth official in that. Did you get any clarification?
No, as we stand up, as you know, we've obviously the game's just finished, and no, I haven't spoke to any of the officials on that, and maybe, I don't know, maybe even you can shed some light on it, because I'm very confused.
Well, look, you had a message to your players at half-time. It must be disappointing that you conceded the way you did, especially when you wanted to give a bit more fight. It almost seemed like an uphill battle after that.
Yeah, look, Arch, it's you know, it's very difficult, and again, officiating aside, you know, it's very difficult to, you know, go 60 minutes with 10 men against a good side. And, yeah, look, again, poor decisions cost us at the goals, and something we can continue to have a look at. But we've got to get better at our defending for sure.
Were you happy with the performance in the first 30 minutes before that send-off? Adama Traore came pretty close to opening the scoring.
Yeah, look, it was a bit cat and mouse. Zappa's wasn't it the first 30 minutes, I don't think. Either team were blowing it away, but certainly Elvis getting sent off causes us big changes and hurts us, because we're already, you know, down on numbers, and losing another player, you know, doesn't help.
As the coach, need to ask you the question around leadership in the team and on the park. Robbie Kruse, we saw him come off, and yes, he was frustrated, and but when he came off, Brebs, no one took the armband from him. Is that something that you as a coach want to see, someone on the park taking that leadership role and wearing the captain's armband at that point?
Yeah, look, Zappa's, yeah, look, it's certainly something that we'll continue to talk about in the changing room. You know, Robbie's come off, and he's always disappointed when he comes off. But at that point, you know, the shift he was doing, we needed to protect him for next week. But yeah, certainly, you know, the leadership side of things we'll address moving forward, and yeah.
Thanks for joining us. We appreciate how difficult it is, and appreciate you taking the time to chat to us.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you.
Yeah, Sydney FC tonight, Archie, too good in the end. And after that send-off, Costa Barbarouses was involved in this wonderful build-up with Caceres and Babo. Terrific team goal.
Yeah, well, look, all their goals, it seemed to be so slick and smooth. And, OK, the send-off certainly changed the complexion of the game, but there were still signs, even when they had 11 players on Melbourne Victory, that Sydney FC were really slick. And again, he was pulled back on his shirt here. That went to the VAR. And, you know, for me, that's a penalty, and it was dispatched really well. But it was a real clinical performance from Sydney FC. Steve Corica talked about his team playing the type of football that he wants. It just lacked a little bit of cutting edge up front. We heard from Costa Barbarouses. He was pleased with the amount of forward runs they were making and the opportunities they were creating. It certainly did help when you go down a man, and at 60-odd minutes, you as a Victory player, you're chasing the ball. You get really tired, and there's not many chances that you create because of that defending. And it just compounds when you've got that quality out there with Sydney FC show tonight.
If it wasn't for Matty Acton, it could have been a lot worse, especially in that second half. He was outstanding. 2 or 3 brilliant saves kept the scoreline to 3.
Yeah, well, look, it was, I think, one from Bomyahan here. Well, he stepped across to his right, and he had to go back to his left and put a really strong hand out and push that across the bar, but there could have been a few more if he hadn't been there. He put his body in the line. And, you know, for large periods of that Victory team were defending quite well in that first half when they did go a man down. There was a lot of, I think, Storm Roux threw his body in the line, and that's a sort of, I guess, effort you want to see from your team, and it just deflates you when you go after half-time, concede the way you do, and then it's like, okay, here we go again.
Yeah, what about the rest of the weekend, Archie? We've seen some great action yesterday. Firstly, let's have a look at some of the A-League action from yesterday. And Brisbane Roar managed to get one back in the end after this opener from Western Sydney. A 1-1 draw in the end.
Yeah, Kwame Yabawa, he was rushed into the starting 11. He had immediate impact, and I thought Western Sydney could have really caused this team a lot of damage if they took their opportunity early. For me, Motokudis there, he needs to make a bigger challenge there. For me, that was too easy, and it slips into the path for the Brisbane player, who still had a lot to do, and he put into the roof of the net. And probably on the way of, if Western Sydney had taken their opportunities nice earlier, that could have been a different score.
Well, there was some joy for Melbourne Victory fans today, because earlier today their women's W League side made it through to the grand final, a huge win over Brisbane Roar. So they are through to the grand final, and they will face the winner of Canberra and Sydney FC. Yeah, well, look, I know that Melbourne Victory could have won the minor premiership against Sydney FC. They lost that, but they still had to travel to Brisbane, and Brisbane have been the form side along with Sydney. You can tell where they've finished on the ladder. But for Victory fans, if they'll be sort of hoping that Canberra can beat Sydney FC, because then that has a final here in Melbourne. And I know that, you know, there might be too much luck when it comes to the men, but I'm sure they'll get all the support that's needed for Melbourne Victory's women team if they play the final here. Yeah, the next semi-final tomorrow. More football continues on Fox Sports this weekend, Easter Monday, and some more action across the A-League. We look forward to seeing Newcastle up against Western United. Gee, weren't Western United terrific the other night here at Amy Park? A really short turnaround for them. Alessandro Diamanti turned the game on its head when he came on in the last half an hour. Bessa Parisha, your old mate. What a finish that was to secure all 3 points. And then it's Wellington up against Melbourne City. Patrick Kisnorbo will want a response from his side. Yeah, certainly. And, you know, with Western United, the way that they came back into that match was phenomenal. It was such a great atmosphere. And, you know, Melbourne City, West United rode their luck a little bit too, because Melbourne City were really pressing for that equaliser. And for Wellington, it's not going to be easy, because, you know, when Melbourne City have lost the weight that they had, and they didn't really, I felt like they didn't deserve to. But, you know, we'll see what happens. I know Wellington want to win and get their season back on track. Just back on Western United, Mark Redan's side, on their day, are capable of beating anyone. This is the type of game now that they really need to win if they want to play a part in finals. Win against teams that are lower than them on the table. They face Newcastle away from home. Yeah, 100%. And like I said, they still rode their luck with Melbourne City, but the way that they came back was unbelievable, and the way that Diamanti just had such an impact. We've seen Lockie Wales get his first goal for the club, but it's about going away, travelling, and getting the results against what will be a very difficult Newcastle Jets team, because they haven't performed really well. They've lost, I think, 6 on the trot. So they want a good performance at home. So, look, it's going to be a tough one. It's just how West United recover, and they use that motivation from the game against Melbourne City to really get the points. Yeah, no better way to enjoy your Easter weekend, with a double-header tomorrow here on Fox Sports. But tonight it was all about Sydney FC recording a 3-0 win in the Big Blue, the 54th Big Blue. It was all sky blue here at Amy Park. From me, Michael Zapponi, and Archie Thompson, thank you for joining us tonight. We hope you enjoyed your Easter Sunday with us. It's goodbye for now.
This has been a Fox Sports production.
This program brought to you by Bunnings Warehouse and Macca's best ever loose change menu.
Ready for the game? Ultra HD Sport.
NRL, AFL and Formula One in ultra high definition. It's as good as being there, only on Foxtel.
Well, it's a pretty wet afternoon in Brisbane here at Lions Stadium as we prepare for the first semi-final of the Westfield W League. For those of you that celebrated, a very happy Easter for you, but to all of you, buckle up and get excited. We are in for a wonderful 90 minutes